Thank you so much for speaking to me. What an amazing episode. Powerful message. My heart was just split into different places. So I want to start off first with Wilder. Wonderful episode, amazing character. What I got from this, yes, it's about family, but it's also about identity. Can you talk about kind of when you're reading the script, what really impacted you the most with this character?
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your kind words, Dana. What really impacted me right away with the script was that Dean was already in their bodies, that there wasn't this narrative of like shame or needing permission from other people. I saw that on the page and then also on set that was reinforced by Shakina, by our director, June Wang, that this character isn't apologizing for who they are, didn't have a sense of, wasn't carrying around, they didn't need permission from other characters. They were inviting other characters to see them for who they really were, which I think is kind of a rare narrative.
Shakina, amazing way of breaking down the definition of non-binary. This was a very, very important explanation. I wanted to know, what blending in with that episode, the message of that. Also, how do you balance it with? We also have the other storylines that we've been telling throughout this whole season.
Yeah, thanks, Dana. I feel like one of my superpowers is like taking these sort of canonical stories that we know and are familiar to us and like injecting them with queerness in a way that makes them accessible because it's like everything else is familiar. So I can take this new step into unfamiliar territory because I know Indiana Jones and Goonies and, Adventures in Babysitting. Like I get the vibe of the story that we're in. So this new addition of like a queer element isn't as intimidating maybe to take on for viewers. So in that way, I feel like, you know, it's just adding a new layer on that people are ready for. And then in terms of balancing that with the rest of the stories that need to get told, that's the fun of the collaborative storytelling of being in a TV writer's room is that we've developed like a whole season together. And so I know I get these like moments throughout that season to like pipe up with some suggestions to make things like super queer in another way. And that might not only be through gender and sexuality, but that might be like a queer lens on race and ethnicity or on economics or something like that. There's a lot of ways I can bring my point of view into all the stories that we're telling in the show. So that's the fun of doing it collaboratively.
There is a wonderful line that says you have to be yourself before you can fill your life, and you have to be whole yourself before you can fill your life in. Question for Wilder is, with that message, can you talk about kind of the importance that Dean hears that, and also for Shakina, sorry if I mispronounced it, that also applies to Addison as well. So with that message being a third line for both of these characters, can you talk about the importance of that?
Wow, that's a great question. Yeah, the importance of filling your or being comfortable with yourself before filling your life in, I think is about uh coming to terms with your own insecurities, your own identity, who you really are before trying to seek that external validation through a relationship, through a partnership. And I think it also pertains to not necessarily following a path that has been laid out for you, especially in this narrative, which takes place in 1953. There are very thin, narrow ideas about what womanhood is like, about what family is supposed to look like. So my interpretation of that line was create a life that you like before trying to, I don't know, fill in these roles that you've been given. I'm sure Shakini have a more eloquent
No,
way
I mean that's totally
breaking that
it. And
down.
then, like the way that applies to Addison's life is like the way that Wilder sort of unpacked it for all of us is that like, in every episode of Quantum Leap, we get these stories where we go back in time and we get to address something a conflict that maybe there could be a better way through. And by showing that better way through in the show, we give like our audiences a way to like find it in their lives, hopefully, ideally. And so there's like so many layers in which it's happening in this episode because it's like it's Dean's journey, which is like reflective of like a lesson that Addison is learning, which is really reflective of a lesson that we're all trying to learn in our lives. So that's the way Quantum Leap works.
one of the things that, you know, you gave me a heart attack with, because I was the approach of Gideon, that character, Silence to Gideon. Can you tease kind of what that means for the group? His physical presence there.
Well, we've been building all season to a new big bad, and now you got him. So that's all I'm gonna say. You've wondered what happens when the technology could get into the wrong hands, and like I hope we can answer that question for you in an exciting way that only Quantum Leap can do.
Okay, so for Wilder, for Dean's character, the sense of adventure seems to be more layered in just like not the adventure itself, but being with family. So how do you feel that this journey, yes, we got the speech at the end and the acceptance, but going through that journey, what has it really meant for her? Oh, sorry, for them.
That's
Sorry.
okay. All good, all good. Yeah, that is a great point. Yeah, that is a through line through this episode that Shakina and I have talked about, that Jude and I talked about, that really this moment of inviting Holly and Ray as oh my God, why am I blanking? Nadia. Natalia, no. Okay. Inviting Nadia and Sarah into is after going through this journey, after going through this adventure and sort of proving to not only themselves, but like bonding with their siblings that you can do difficult things, that your life is not contained by these expectations. So it was like an earned moment of having to go through this perilous journey together. And after proving to not only their family, but themselves that they can be the person they always wanted to be, just like their father, that's really where that invitation comes in. It's this earned moment.
So for Shakina, what? I'm sorry. Please
Shakina. It's all. She's all the same. Yeah.
What's interesting is the Tom and Addison storyline, and now it seems to be, I don't know if it's a pause or if it's a permanent breakup. Please tell me that this is not because of Ben, that this is a journey that Addison has to go on her own self.
I think that's exactly right, Dana. You know, we care about Addison as her own woman. And so the decisions that she's making for her life, her career, her heart, and her, you know, it's like, you know, her journey is just beginning.
Can you tease if this journey changes her approach to not just Ben, but the leaps and how she views people overall?
I think you can't go through what Addison has gone through and not be transformed in the ways you relate to the world around you.
Okay. Okay. With the arrival of Gideon, what's going to happen? Can you say what is magic is going to be involved?
I'm going to say that the writer's room has worked really hard to bring you an exciting back half of the series and the season, and that we make the most of everyone on our show. You know, like we love writing for these actors, and we have a great time creating stories for them.
Okay. And for Wilder, what can you say Dean has given you in your toolbox of acting? Because it's such a rich and beautiful character, even for just one episode.
That's so kind. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. What has Dean really given me? They have given me the knowledge that you have to size way up when you are wearing vintage pants, because there's no stretch at all. Now I know that for sure. But on a more serious note, I think Dean is really, you know, the thing that I really loved about this character and has taken on is that Dean sees the world as this like huge playground, as this huge sandbox, and it's this desire to experience everything they possibly can. And I found that really inspirational and really heartening. I love that in a person. And I don't want to say that I'd forgotten that, but I think it's easy to forget that sense that like, you can do whatever you want. There's like a whole world out there for the taking. So that's definitely what I'll be taking with me.
So with their ability to be open and honest with their family, do you find that now with Dean that would happen with their friendships and how they approach life in general?
As in, are you asking if since Dina's had someone with her family, would they be able to take that into the rest of their life?
Yes.
I think so. And I also hope that's something that our viewers can take as well, that this is it coming out, however you do it, to your family, to your friends, in whatever timeline you want, is an opportunity for the people that you love to know you better. It doesn't have, you don't have to ask permission or ask for their, yeah, for their permission to be who you are. It can be a moment to let them see you.
Wonderful.
Literally,
Thank you.
whatever timeline you want. That's the best
Whatever
part.
timeline. Yeah, no rush.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Beautiful episode, and I look forward to the future.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thanks,
Dina.
Dana.
Thank you.